We want to get a little bit more into the shooter's mindset, and that's something that we all have a fascination with, as if somehow understanding the mindset of someone who could do this will help prevent it again. Allie Bradley's doing some incredible work on that, independent journalist here. You spoke to the grandfather. Salvatore Romanis shot his grandmother. How does a man go on knowing his grandson killed 19 kids and shot his grandmother?
You know, I think it's going to definitely take him some time, Leland, because this is his community. He said outside of living in Chicago for a couple of years, this is where
he went to school right here.
He went to Robb Elementary too, which we're hearing from a lot of community members, right? And you're looking at a video right now where he was showing me where he believes that his wife was shot, where she was lying, and then she actually apparently went outside and was able to get help from a neighbor, but there's still blood splatters on his wall, you know, and he was saying it's absolutely horrific, and he has a daughter as well, or a granddaughter as well. So, but let's take a listen to what he has to say here.
From here to there.
Oh wow, because it is.
Or maybe from there, because there was a pool of blood here.
Really? And you had to clean it up?
My sister and this friend of mine, her cousin, cleaned it up.
Oh, wait, so this is all from...
Some of her skin or whatever.
Oh my gosh, look at Roland. It's all the way up here.
And that is from the gunshot. We understand that he got into an argument with his grandmother at some point?
When I brought up the word argument, his grandfather was very adamant that there was not an argument. So there was a conversation about getting him off of their phone plan. The grandmother said, it's time to get you off of the phone plan. And that is when the grandfather had left. So about 2 hours later is when the grandfather says that she was potentially shot and this transpired. So they could have had an argument after he left. But when I brought up that word, he was very adamant that that wasn't the case, because he said their relationship was a very strong one, that she loved him, she took great care of him. He just didn't understand how he could do something like that.
It'd be impossible to understand how anyone you loved could do something like that. A little bit more sound now from your interview with the grandfather.
You were at recess when this happened, so you were all outside when you saw the guy. Did you see the guy run?
Not run, I just saw him be like, I saw him like behind cars and everything. I just saw like the hand go up and like.
So you heard the gunshots?
Yes.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking like, oh shoot, he ain't like, he's not like kidding. He's actually not afraid to shoot someone.
He wasn't afraid to shoot a lot of people. 12 minutes from when the car crash happened till when he entered the school. A huge number of gunshots. That was a student that you interviewed who had been outside during the time. This seems as though, based on the timeline, 2 weapons purchased last week, 375 rounds of ammunition purchased last week, that it was well planned.
I mean, you've got to have something planned. This isn't just doesn't come upon you, right? This isn't just something that randomly transpires, especially when you're working a minimum wage job you quit a month ago, right? He quit his job, and then about a week later, his grandfather says that he inquired about working and picking up some work with his grandfather. His grandfather does HVAC in the community and beyond. He goes to San Antonio and does things like that. So he was telling me it pays him about $75 when they work together. So, you know, it seemed like he had obviously thought about it.
Do this. I want to just get you on this one quick issue, because your reporting about law enforcement in this area has been extraordinary. During these 60 minutes from when the first officer showed up to when the gunman was killed, there was a lot going on, and including another call of shots fired at a school that clearly would have taken resources away from here and potentially made officers think there was something much larger than one gunman.
Right, I was looking at my footage when I first arrived on scene. I was live streaming, and I didn't really put it all together because, you know, we're all really inundated with things too right now, and it kind of dawned on me. I was there when this was still going on. I was here at 12:18. The first dispatch calls were 11:40. Around 12:18, all of these resources, all of these troopers, police officers started running towards me where I was at the police line. And I said, what's going on? What is happening? And all I heard yelling was, shots fired at the high school. And I didn't think my heart could be as low as it was. It dropped even farther. And I did not know what to do. But of course, as you said, that took some of those resources away, right? So now that needs to be part of this timeline and part of the investigation.
A huge part of the discussion. Allie, incredible work at Allie Bradley TV on Twitter, and some of that videos there to sort of show you what's happening. Marnie, I think that goes back to exactly what we've been talking about here in terms of the fog of war, the lack of information in those 60 minutes. And if you are running this situation and you hear that there's another shooter over at the high school, you obviously sent a lot of resources over there. What is that? How does that change how you're dealing with the situation here? It is clearly significant in the ways that you change things here.
Yeah, it deepens the chaos for sure, Leland, and chilling to see inside the home where that first shot happened. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.